Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, double honors, yells and apostles, a great millstone who are teaching the truth and sincerity, and a shout out to Yakims out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Raka the Yahweh, Raka the Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, Raka done. So, taking a good look here, what's going on with the, as you know, my other channel was taken down today, meaning that, okay, you know, it's got 2 strikes on it, so it's pretty much on its way out. I'm not going to be able to do anything with it for a while, because one more strike, that channel's gone completely. So, pretty much, you know, you're just not going to be able to look at anything, you know, for a while on it. So, I pretty much moved everything over here to Israelite 405, so, you know, doing what I have to do, you know, because this devil's been removing channels right and left. Elder Zakan just lost his main channel too. So, you know, pretty much though, they took down the video because they said it was inappropriate contact. So, that being said though, let's just go ahead and go on with the fact that there is food shortages and there is food insecurity. And they're hiding us all up with the impeachment trial, which is going on live right now. In fact, I'll switch over to that in a minute, and hopefully I don't get a strike because it's on YouTube Live anyways.
One of the biggest effects of the pandemic in America is still growing, and that is hunger. Food insecurity has hit 52 million people, an increase of 17 million from before the pandemic struck, and it's only getting worse.
That's right.
If we count people living paycheck to paycheck, food insecurity is affecting an estimated 54 to 57 million Americans. And they keep raising the price on the food too. Last week, Biden issued an executive order asking the U.S. Department of Agriculture to increase food stamp benefits and provide more nutrition to children. This is a painful reminder of how our nation has enjoined the global hunger movement as both participant and leader. America has been run like a third world country for decades. It shouldn't be a surprise that we're starting to look like one in more places. More than 50 million Americans are expected to experience food insecurity in 2021 due to the pandemic. Our food system is broken, and there's no blueprint to fix it. Some food banks in the nation have seen their funding stall, forcing them to close their doors to families in need as the pandemic continues to grip the country.
All done by design.
Census data show that 30 million American households reported periods of not having enough to eat last month, a sharp jump from before the pandemic. And that's not even including the illegals. This is greater than anything we've seen since the Great Depression. Which is saying an awful lot, and that's both in terms of the severity of the need and the prolonged nature of what we're seeing across the country. How long they've lived
delicious.
The Feeding
now
America
they're
network
starting
of
to
food
see
banks,
what it's like.
since the beginning of the pandemic, have consistently reported on average a 60% increase in the number of people who are seeking food assistance.
See the fucking cops harassing the homeless
every
yesterday.
10 of those people who are showing up at food distribution lines have never had to access charitable food assistance before in their lives. These are such trying times on all fronts.
Because that's all they fucking
do. Pray for and help one another.
Want to hear something funny?
We are all in the same leaking boat, out to endless
fucking cops,
without a
man.
life preserver or
their house burned down during the car fire, and they fucking deserved it.
Another, because if we don't, it will be every man for himself, and that can turn ugly.
It already is.
Welcome
every man for
back to
himself.
The Atlantis Report. You are here for your daily dose of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Which is what we have here at Great Millstones, 100% truth. Because anyone not teaching you that the mark of the beast is the microchip and it's going to be made mandatory soon is not teaching you the truth. They're teaching you a bunch of lies. And you can see right there, live outside the Capitol, the impeachment trial. So, National Guard and razor wire for D.C. to be locked down during the impeachment trial.
National Guard and razor wire everywhere. That is what people are seeing in D.C. This is Dabu7 taking a look here at what's going on in D.C. as it still looks dystopian here, so to speak.
Yeah, like you see in Tom Clancy's The Division game.
Trial of Trump that's going to kick off. And we've talked about this in great detail. But the update is this. With the 20,000 troops that were there, they've thinned that down to about 7,000, which is still quite a bit, that are just working the perimeter. And as you can see, they have these fences up all the way around the perimeter with razor wire all the way around. No way to get in. Concrete barriers also up around there. They're all armed. So they're also stating that they have hundreds of other troops on standby if needed. And this is the setting right now in D.C. as this whole thing is about to kick off. Now, of course, they are charging him, or the House impeached him, on one count of incitement of insurrection. And Trump has his team of lawyers and everything else ready to go in and defend himself. We're just going to have to wait and see how this all shakes out. But with no protest planned, no large groups up there, some are asking, why all the security? An excessive amount of stuff up here. And there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, I'm sure. But in terms of the troops being there, they're still there. A lot of people thought that they packed up, went home, this thing has gone back to normal. No, that's not the case. The place is still locked down, as you can see here. There's plenty of other images here. People are walking around, getting shots of this. I'm going to leave a link below so you can check them out. Also, join me on the live stream.
Yeah, because as you know, there's not very much you can talk about on this thing. But hey, you know, while they have us distracted with the impeachment, which mostly is what this video is about, here's what's going on with the money system, because hey, there's a reason for a global reset, you know, a currency change. You know, that piece of shit Elon Musk has just bought a lot of Bitcoin. And of course, Chris Green would be glad to sell you Bitcoin, because of course, man, it's all about digital currency, you know, so that way they can track everything by the microchip.
This is Dabu7. Taking a look here at the money supply as it's ever changing, and we are fastly moving toward a digital age where this government has already shown their hand. The central bank digital currency, also known as the CBDC, is going to be what is rolled out here in the offing. They are already taking back the coinage all across the country. Most of you should know this. Are you asking why? Are you asking where is this going? You should be, because when it's all said and done and they get this whole thing converted to their CBDC, it will be tracked on blockchain. All the information will be stored there.
With a microscopic tag.
There goes your privacy out the window. I've warned about this over and over and over and over again. But in connection with that, to make some digital currency work, it would have to be backed by a precious metal like gold, or silver, platinum, palladium. In this instance, we are seeing different states sign up these bills, or bring up these bills where they're changing things in terms of money in the states. This is happening in individual states, left and right. Okay, some are eliminating the income taxes on gold and silver. This is pretty big. And as it's been stated many times before, if they use gold to back the money, it would need to be somewhere in this day and age around $20,000 or more per ounce to be able to justify the backing of it equally. And they break that down, and many people have done this. And it varies a little bit. Where it will go, it's anyone's guess. But one thing's for sure, it's definitely heading in this direction, where they are going to back everything with gold and silver. And it's at this point, I feel, everything will explode. When they take away all the fiat currency, say one new variant pops up out there, you know, we face a real pandemic situation out here where bodies are dropping. People are not going to want to touch fiat currency or anything like that.
All done by design.
Cake to take it all away. And when they do, they don't even have to do that. They can just simply come out and tell the whole world, you've got a year to turn in your dollar bills. The whole world. What about all the Pablo Escobars out there, modern day, and other people that have it buried all over the globe, under their castles and their vaults, private stacks of money? They don't want no one to know what they've got. They're going to put you on a timer. They're going to give you about a year or so, my guess, on this countdown, to turn it in and get a credit for a central bank digital currency. So they will then know where everything is at. And when that deadline goes, all that currency is done. Outlawed, not worth anything, gone forever. If you did not exchange in for your central bank digital currency, your CBDC, you will lose. You will lose it all. Anyone that wants to hide their millions, billions, anywhere, if they do not face the fire in this situation during this conversion, they are going to lose it all. This is what is about to happen. And when they get this all to digital, everyone's going to look around and they're not going to have anything to hold.
And that just leads us right there to the mark of the beast. You will not be able to buy or sell save he that has the mark. You know what this is about. And that was an excellent breakdown. So here's what's going on in D.C., you know, with the distraction, which that's what all this is a distraction, you know, the impeachment of Donald Trump. So just look at it a little bit.
Be able to reserve rebuttal time if you wish. Mr. Raskin, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, distinguished members of the Senate. Good afternoon. My name is Jamie Raskin. It's my honor to represent the people of Maryland's 8th Congressional District in the House and also to serve as the lead House manager. And, Mr. President, we will indeed reserve time for rebuttal. Thank you. Because I've been a professor of constitutional law for 3 decades, I know there are a lot of people who are dreading endless lectures about the Federalist Papers here. Please breathe easy, okay? I remember well W.H. Auden's line that a professor is someone who speaks while other people are sleeping. You will not be hearing extended lectures from me because our case is based on cold, hard facts. It's all about the facts.
Yeah, you lie
President
so
Trump
much.
has sent his lawyers here today to try to stop the Senate from hearing the facts of this case. They want to call the trial over before any evidence is even introduced. Their argument is that if you commit an impeachable offense in your last few weeks in office, you do it with constitutional impunity. You get away with it. In other words, conduct that would be a high crime and misdemeanor in your first year as president, and your second year as president, and your third year as president, and for the vast majority of your fourth year as president, you can suddenly do in your last few weeks in office without facing any constitutional accountability at all. This would create a brand new January exception to the Constitution of the United States of America.
See how this is all falling apart?
A January exception.
What Constitution, man?
And everyone
it was a shit show of an election, and maybe that's why it's fucking banned. Because guess what? Everything about this place is fucking fake. The news is fake. They're fake. They're all liars.
Way out the door.
They're all liars, and that's why they're trying to censor the truth. So anyways, that's just it, man. You know, so they're going to say though that, oh well, you know, because he incited everyone to riot, you know.
Of power.
Not that I'm all of a sudden on the defense of him, but you know, this is all a shit show anyways. It's all distraction because they don't want you to know about what's going on in Syria, and they don't want you to know about the people that are dying right and left after receiving the injection. You know, no misinformation here, you know, just the facts, you know. And the facts is that guys like Reggie Jackson are dropping dead after receiving the injection. Well, you know, they can stick it in their pipe and they can smoke it any way they want to toke it. They're all fucking on drugs anyways. Because you'd have to be on drugs to fucking take any injection from this goddamn devil who's been out to kill you from day one.